is day 2. We went late last night, boy, getting this all organized. I think we're pretty good now. What we're going to do today, yeah, it's not even 6 in the morning. That's totally not metal. So a couple of the concepts that I wanted to accomplish with this was, one was to have more mixing real estate. So I had my drums from, my board is backwards, it's 1 through 24 and 25 through 48, sounds kind of crazy. That's another story. Drums were always 25 through 36, and then I had this set up for like percussion, a stereo, 37, 38, and then bass was over here on 39 and 40, and then basically we had 8 tracks to kind of mix the instruments, keyboards, guitars, strings, whatever. But realizing that half the time there was no percussion, if it was a little shaker, and then after kind of working with Chris and seeing his thing, and he's just like, you know, your primary stuff is what's important, and you know, all this other stuff, don't let it, you know, whatever. So he's all about, like, you know, parking the drums, heavy guitars, vocal up the middle, you know what I mean? So so I got rid of the percussion track and set up bass here. So now I've got actually 10 faders or 5 stereos for guitars, and so we freed up a pair. And then if I have percussion on a track and there's room, I can throw it here or blend it in with something or comp it in with the overs or whatever, and then just pre-mix it and EQ it in Pro Tools or whatever. I don't care. This is going to be better. VCAs are the same. Now here I had doing the Brower thing with the three vocals sending from Pro Tools set for like verse, chorus, bridge, and then this is floated, and then I had it busting out to an 1176, a distressor and a stay level, but realizing I was never really very excited about the distressor on vocals, and it just didn't really make a difference. The stay level and the 1176 were really the sound. So there, we got rid of those. We got rid of the distressor from here. I moved the stay level over here, and then I put my return for my PCM 42 right here, which is my main vocal echo. So again, when I'm in the middle and I'm mixing and I'm automating, I've got my vocals with my vocal echo, which is definitely the thing that Chris was all about doing. So then the other thing I had was I had just a stereo pair for harmonies, and then the next bucket down really started all of my effects returns and my parallel compression returns. And what I did was, there was a couple of them that I realized, well, one in particular that I realized that I could do all my automation and I could do my EQing in Pro Tools, and it didn't have to come out to the main fader. It could come to a mini, which was my drum verb. So down here, this is my split harmonizer for my H3000, which I have on the main faders, which I want because I can automate that, like I can boost it in the hook to make the vocals wider and everything, or guitars or whatever. And then up here now I also have, because this is an inline console, so it's actually 96 channels. So here is drum verb, and then same thing over here. But anyway, it freed up some space. So now I've got a stereo pair here for harmonies and a stereo pair here for harmonies and background vocals and answer calls or whatever. And then I switch these around. I put my Pro Tools effects return here, and then my plate, my main vocal plate right here, and then drum parallel here, and then my 610, which is my snare compressor, kind of a parallel compressor, and the PV Cosmos. But what's nice about now, I have my vocals, my harmonies, and then my Pro Tools effects and my plate. So it's all right here for automation. So, and then the other thing too is that my main heavy guitars used to always be down on 41 and 42, and I moved them to 47, 48. So basically now, like, once I get my static mix and I get everything kind of going, I'm mixing the majority of my real-time automation from here to here, which literally I can sit in the middle. I don't have to even move, and I can hit pretty much everything. And then if I want to ride some rooms, I can do that on a second pass or whatever, or I can just scoot over and hit the rooms, or Johnny can hit the rooms or whatever. But that's it. So that is the new setup, and it really sounds great. It's we also have broke down the A, B, and C bus, and we're just coming out A right now. It was just, you know, I mean, I did it for a couple of years, and it was awesome. And but it was time for a change, time for something different, and you know, starting to kind of implement some of the way Chris mixes, and it was kind of not really possible with the way it was set up before. So I'm excited. It's really nice. It sounds great. It's really big and wide, and yeah, there it is. So, and then yeah, so a lot of things kind of have moved around in the rack, and it's great, man. It's very exciting, very, very exciting. Inserted on rooms, drum rooms, the Fatso. That's very cool. Same basic stuff on kick, snare, toms, you know, boilers and knee VQs, boilers, knee VQs. And then toms has the Aphex, Oral Exciter. Bass, we moved off the 1176 and inserted a distressor. I liked it. It brought out the playing more, which is something that I've been, you know, trying to improve on with my mixing and my sound and everything, is to get more clarity out of the bass. Inserted on the main heavy guitars are LA3s. Vocals, everything's pretty much the same here. The PCM42 is returning here. We also kind of changed up drum parallels, different too. Now we're using the API 2500. Kind of changed up the setup on the main auxes, which is like your effect sends, where I guess I had a doubler here, the stereo H3000, so that's a doubler. Then I had like a reverb that was like a kind of a room thing, which was never, it just felt messy sometimes. It wasn't the right, I don't know, I just was not feeling it anymore. And then I had a bunch of delays, and I realized I just needed to change it. So now I've got the doubler here. The first one is my plate, which is my main vocal plate, and then the second one is my room, which is where we establish where the band's playing. That's kind of the room. And then the third one down is the quarter note. This is the as they call it, throw. This is the throw into the PCM42, which will usually be set probably to quarters, or depending on whatever the song, you can change it. And then this is that space, that little slap thing that actually Ryan Williams kind of tricked me out with. It's a cool little thing in Pro Tools with kind of like I think it's like a 2290 kind of stereo return out of phasey weirdo thing. Sounds really cool on vocals, great on vocals. So that's basically those dudes. And then my Pro Tools returns, effects returned here. The plate, which is right now in Pro Tools, is returning separately. I don't want to have it in with these because I want to treat it differently, as the vocals being the most important. So there's my plate and my PCM42. That's mainly my vocal stuff. And yeah, that's it. So I worked those guys into the ground yesterday, man. We'll see how they feel this morning. I'm telling you, man. I'm older than both of them. And it's like, I've been up since like 4 o'clock this morning messing with this. So we'll see, man. See how hardcore they are. Going through the delays. Everything looks like it's working. So we've got a bunch of Pro Tools effects, and if you're running off the vocal 1, 2, and 3, it's not that hot coming off here, so we're putting limiters in front of them to boost the signal coming in. So right now I've got a plate, a room, and space, which is kind of a 2290 slapback kind of thing. So the plate is sending off of aux 1. I was taught to lie. The room is sending off of aux 2.
And came to believe
the space, which is kind of the
love was
2290 slapback, is
on a shelf.
Is sending from aux 4. And they're all returning to Pro Tools effects, except for the plate. The plate has its own. That's going to be like our main vocal reverb. We're treating that separately. And on the 42, we're sending a little bit of crazy with that. We're sending it just a little bit of plate, cutting a little top end, boosting a little lows.
I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed sold on a shelf. Blindly I eyed everything through others' eyes. I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed sold on a shelf.
Yeah, it gives a little drift. So we just tried also putting the
blindly I deemed everything through others' eyes. I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed sold on a shelf. Blindly I deemed everything through others' eyes. I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed sold on a shelf. Blindly I deemed everything through others' eyes. I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed sold on a shelf. Blindly I deemed everything through others' eyes. I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed sold. Waiting aimlessly in an unfit disguise till I met you. I haven't had a clue. I've come to see the truth. I've come to see the truth. Baby, I owe it all to you. Through your love I've come alive. The seed sold on a shelf.
Alright, so we've been messing around here with verbs for a little bit. Lawrence downloaded this. What is this, Lawrence? IRL.
Convolution reverb.
And it's got like presets for the 480. So we were able to, we fired up the A plate, cut some highs, and I also sent it to a little bit of PCM 42 to kind of give it a little bit more kind of tail off, not so abrupt. It sounds nice. I mean, again, these are all just starting points. And then the room, the Valhalla room, I just did a little, this large room big snare room and just kind of brought down the depth. That seemed to sound pretty good. And then again, I've got this space thing that Ryan Williams sent me, and it's his little kind of, I don't know, it's his little setup for like a slap back 2290. It's actually really nice. And then I'm also sending that off to a little bit of plate in Pro Tools. So anyway, there you have it. It's coming together. And these guys, what are they doing over here?
Making it nice.
Making lines. Making lines
for your fine penmanship.
So it's up to me to do this, right?
Yeah.
Look at you guys. They both said it at the same time. Nobody wants to take a shot at it, huh? Look at Lance.
Look at my chicken scratch compared to yours.
I gotcha,
you know,
I
it's
gotcha.
like.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All right, let's take a look at this. Some fresh tape. My awesome penmanship. Lance is doing lines. It's studio, right?
That sounds really good, doesn't it?
Leon's just doing lines.
I'm doing lines in the studio.
Just because you put the O in studio.
All right.
Look at that. Put a line here too, so we feel good about ourselves. There you go. All right, let's yank this side. This is gonna get a little messier. Take a little bit more work.
I was taught to lie to my
Just kind of reset up our internal plugins and rename some things.
I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe
These are our masters that we use for.
love was
These are basically throws into these effects. So we use. I ought to make this in
I was
Pro
taught
Tools.
to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed on a shell. I was taught to lie to myself and came to believe love was a seed on a shell. I was taught to.
Very cool. Whoa, look at that.
Give the an inline, or James.
Setting up our new I/O. I gotta do some more writing. Yeah, man, so new recall sheets being organized, written everything down, all our new dealios. It's really, really great, man. You guys excited? Yeah. Right? It's cool, huh? So tomorrow we're tracking a band all day, and then Thursday we are mixing a Norwegian band called Kissing Miss Lizzie? Stola, that's the guy, cool guy. And it's good slam and rock, and they do good tracking, and it's cool production, so it'll be a good couple of songs for us to kind of break in and calibrate and get a feel for it. Maybe we'll mix the first song for an hour or so and get it kind of vibing, and we'll take it out to the car and and kind of go, all right, this is, because the mixing is different now than before because of kind of all the less compression and less kind of stacks of compression. It's things. You got to be a little bit more alert. It's not quite, The other way was a little like, I don't know, the way just everything sat was just everything really sat in its place. This is a little bit more squiggly, but it's going to be cool, and it's definitely the next adventure, man. We're always trying to get better here, man. Improve, grow. Man, look at that board. Awesome.